Today's forecast is calling for a chance of rain and sunshine at the same time. Niall Horan, he somehow did it. He broke Mother Nature. Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are discussing the new Niall Horan project, Heartbreak Weather. This is the second studio album from the Irish singer-songwriter, also the member of One Direction, who writes soft and easy-listening pop music, tends to stay on the safer side in my opinion, but still, I like what he does. Niall also used to have blonde hair. He got rid of that. I don't know why. I'll try not to hold it over him. Let's just talk about his music instead. Flicker is the name of the debut album from Niall. It came out late 2017. I never really listened to it in full until recently, but I always appreciated the big singles from there, including Slow Hands and On the Loose. From the rest of that project, I could tell Niall was going for a slick and sensual feel mixed with piano ballads on there too, all coming together for this folk pop sound, almost soft rock. Comparing Flicker to Heartbreak Weather, Niall has returned with more of the same, with plenty of simple melodies, lush production, but that didn't stop him from showcasing a cool guitar riff or two. The lead single, Nice to Meet Ya, is one of the instant standouts on this record, and it had me in awe over its guitar riff, obviously, but also because of Niall's confident vocal performance, maybe one of his best yet. Then Niall switched up the vibe on this album, dropping the second single, Put a Little Love on Me, which is an absolute tearjerker. It is a fantastic piano ballad. I mean, just from the first two singles alone, I was impressed. I thought all signs were pointing towards a record with a bit of a split or duality of someone moving on from a breakup, which is a very common theme in the solo albums from One Direction members since the hiatus. Setting Niall apart from the other members of that group, in my opinion, is his ability to craft a cohesive album sonically, but one that also picks you up and throws you down while listening to the lyrics. Harry Styles essentially did the same thing on his most recent project, Fine Line, basically taking us through the stages of grief. Meanwhile, we have Niall giving us an unpredictable ride of the ups and downs with starting and ending a relationship. It comes to a point where there's a striking resemblance in how both artists end their second LPs, saying that everything will be alright. It'll be alright. Everything will be alright. It's a mantra. I can't blame them for being positive, though. Come on. If anything, it just makes me think that Niall and Harry are secretly collaborating, trying to get One Direction back together. Oh, how I wish that could be true. It's just a coincidence, though. Let's be real. What isn't a coincidence on Heartbreak Weather is how good it flows. It flows like a river, flows like rain down the street. I am trying so hard to come up with a weather analogy. It's not going over too well. Okay, so it flows. What do I mean by that? Is that the album stays relatively the same, nothing drastically different besides a few quieter moments. And that covers up the fact that some of the lyrics are just either super optimistic or pessimistic. I think the perfect stretch of songs to illustrate that is from tracks 5 through 9, as we have Small Talk and Nice to Meet Ya acting as the strutting, confident cuts, and Put a Little Love on Me, which is the interesting turning point before we keep the tempos and energy roaring on tracks 8 and 9. I can honestly say my favorite part of Heartbreak Weather is its middle portion, as those songs I just mentioned here. Small Talk, for example, is when the album kicks into full gear. We have a hot and humid atmosphere. It's lyrically similar to Niall's Slow Hands, taking things to the bedroom. We have an infectious staccato hook, groovy instrumental, just a fantastic track all around. I'm surprised it's not a single yet. It probably will be. To the gut punch and unexpected twist of Put a Little Love on Me, it's only natural to hear the rise and fall in Niall's emotional confidence. Then another song like Everywhere is an upbeat composition similar to Black and White. We have a catchy chorus. It's about trying to get over someone. Lyrically, it is comparable to This Town and what that song was for Flicker. Also similar to previous cuts on the debut album, Niall gives us a double dose of slick bass lines on the tracks Cross Your Mind and New Angel. The former is reminiscent of Post Malone's Circles, actually, and New Angel might just be my favorite song on this album. It is a certified jam. It's also nice to see Niall collaborating with John Ryan again on Heartbreak Weather, as he was an integral part of the One Direction discography, even helping out the 1975 here and there. I think the big highlight for John Ryan comes with his writing credits on the opening cut, also the title track. It sees Niall starting a new relationship. He's hopeful that this one can change his fortunes. Certainly matches the happy 80s aesthetic, the glitzy and silky sound of the instrumentation and the tone of the track as well. But the key thing to focus on, and what ultimately focuses Niall on this title track here, is the concept that runs through this album, which is an interesting one. It's about correlating your emotions to weather patterns. All of the songs on this album comment on still loving someone, and it all culminates with the one that took the shortest amount of time to write. It's called Still, and it's a tremendous and anthemic close to the narrative. I like it. Now, starting this record, there are a few tunes that feel devoid of original personality. If you're a fan of Ed Sheeran, you'll definitely recognize some similarities between the bouncy beat and light guitar over the track Black and White, kind of playing like a Castle on the Hill remix. I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it. I think it suits Niall. To the song No Judgment, which is a textbook example of Ed Sheeran style writing, from the hook to the safe, I don't want to push any buttons or boundaries with the form or performance kind of thing going on with it. It's pretty standard, and it's obviously perfect for the radio. Again, I don't mind the Ed Sheeran influence. I just think that the biggest crime on Heartbreak Weather is how some songs go through dull passages and are plain. Dear Patience, although I like the subdued instrumental and stark contrast with Black and White, it's just a mediocre song. Bend the Rules is bland and underwritten. It feels too slow for my liking. It also is impersonal, ends up having a forgettable tune, even though I do admire the reserved and timid vocal delivery. And even the song Arms of a Stranger feels too dull and lifeless with an overproduced beat. So yes, even with those glaring issues of this album taking a while to hit full stride and not being as great as its predecessor, Niall still remains pertinent in the conversation as one of the best One Direction members. He's still near the top of the pack, I would say, although that special number one in my heart, it goes to Harry. I'm feeling a 7 out of 10 on Heartbreak Weather. So there you have it. There is the album review. Sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of this music. Agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. Leave a like. Subscribe if you're new in town. I would appreciate that very much. Thanks for watching. As always, I also appreciate that. And in the meantime, have a rockin' day.